What's going on, y'all? Y'all are watching Bucks, Ammo, and Arrows. We're back for part 2 of the late start of the airboat budget build. I told him he needed to glass bondo the outside of that hull because all the grinder marks and everything, and he's like, oh no, screw that, it's a budget, blah blah blah, screw it. And I said, don't you want it to look good? But anyways, alright y'all, there's the new deck lid we built, new stringers we put in, all the amount of glass work this thing got. Zach's getting it all cleaned up and ready to paint the inside. Yeah, the people before had tried to replace the stringers in this boat, and they screwed through the bottom of the boat with like drywall screws to hold the stringers in place, and the stringers were crooked, they weren't even in place.
I think it's going to be pretty cool to go from complete trash all on the side of the road to halfway decent. Good in the boat.
Yeah, that's another thing I meant to add in the video. Keeping it under 5K is somebody dumped this haul in a guy's yard that sat there for a while, and he put an ad on Facebook.
Oh, you know what?
But again, I wish he would have glass bondoed all his grinder marks on the outside before we painted it, but he's a slacker, so.
The slick bottom is 14 feet, 240 pounds of Zach.
Yeah, she's 14 foot. Not as heavy as you would think. We both carried it into the shop and we painted it and we carried it out and set it down there. So I'm gonna let him get back to doing whatever he's doing. He probably needs to wipe it with some acetone.
Oh yeah, we got to vacuum it up.
A buddy of mine and me come up with this idea for these corners, these glass halls. I'm wanting to make some out of aluminum and stainless. Get a bunch of them like built up and try to sell some of them because they're pretty cool idea. Being it's a budget, we got these for free. That's just sheets of galvanized steel. That is what it is. Trying to keep it as cheap as we can, get them to the river, and that's what this is all about. Turns out he's got to do some more glass work to the inside, so we're going to do some glass work first. Then we'll sand it again. I'll have to vacuum it and wipe it out. Then we'll get to painting it. Hopefully this rain holds off. It already rained here once, but I think we got more coming. So either way, you guys are gonna get to see it. It's like 2 hours later from the last check-in, and this guy is still wiping this boat. Can you believe that? This guy's still wiping it.
Other things, and now we're redoing them. We're gonna do everything right the first time.
I've told him that a long time ago, and he still ain't doing nothing right. So don't listen to him. If he was doing it right, he would have bondo, glass bondo on the outside of this hull before it was painted. He didn't want to listen to me. I told him he didn't want to listen to me. All right, y'all, we are back. We about got the glass done. Put a little patch there. Put a nice long one down this side. And we finished. We put another piece right here that goes up on the front deck, the bulkhead. Put it to where it went so far up the bulkhead and so far down here, all the way across over all the stringers. Tying the bulkhead in real good for your strength of your boat. We got Zach the slack over here glassing in his Airboat hole because he cut the whole front. This is a Gilio hull, or a really good replica, but he cut the sides down right here and took the big lip off the front, so he's got to redo his I-bolt or U-bolt holes for his attachment for his trailer. And as soon as this sets up a little bit more, we're going to be doing the deck, painting the deck first, and then getting into the hull. We're going to do the painting on the front. I don't even want to show you that patch from the front up there that he claims is good. That's not good.
What do you mean?
I'll leave that out of the video.
Right off at the
Yeah, okay, we're not gonna go there, but anyways,
Like
what
that.
we are about to do is we're about to paint this thing, about to do the deck lid, and I'm gonna do the old school trick on it. Got some like playground sand or whatever. We're gonna strain it into a separate thing, and we're gonna paint it, sprinkle some on, paint it, sprinkle some on with some sand. And it's gonna give a grip tape effect on the front of the bow up here. So we're gonna go old school with it, cheap and affordable. We used, when we redid the deck lid, we used a piece of 3/4 inch plywood that I had left over from a job I did. So it's another thing in the budget. We had it, we used it. Yeah, it's heavy, but it's thick and it's solid. I don't know, I thought it'd probably be a good idea, so I put some white silicone in around the our brackets, our plates here. Just made it look sealed up nice and tight, so when it paints, it looks like it's all one piece. I figured it'd be better than seeing the little crack gap through the center or whatever. What I got, some play sand. So what I'm gonna do with that play sand, so I'm gonna get this old paint bucket here.
How much you want in here?
Well, if that's my bucket now, the whole damn bucket. That's fine though, you don't need it. Anyways, so we put the play sand into this bucket. I got an old strainer out of the house. Actually, it's for making my gunpowder, my homemade powder. But anyways, I'm gonna sift it with this old strainer right here. You can get it at the dollar store for like $1 or $2, whatever. But I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna sift out the big chunks, and I'm gonna put it into this bucket here. And as I need it from there, after I roll on the paint, which you'll see here in just a second, but I'm gonna roll on the paint here, and then I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna take the sand sifted from there, and I'm gonna sprinkle it all over the place and into the paint, and then I'm gonna roll another layer, then I'm gonna put some more sand, I'm gonna roll another layer, then I'm gonna put some more sand, making it like a grip tape. Mixing up some hammered silver into the flat black, and it's giving it a sparkling gray appearance, kind of like what we did with the hull, but we mixed hammered with hammered. This being said, not sure how it's going to turn out for his deck, but we're going to see here soon. Alright, I got 2 coats into it, and I just sprinkled it with some more sand. It's starting to soak up. This thing's totally white a second ago. Well, it's not soaked up. Just put 2 coats on it, sprinkled the first one, put a coat on it, sprinkle this one. I'm waiting for it to absorb, and what ain't going to absorb, I'm going to try to kind of brush off and then go back over it with another coat of paint. Alright, you guys, so I put another coat on, sanded it, and he started rolling out the hammered in the bottom of the boat, the silver. That's the color we're going with the rigging, but it's going to have Japan dry, aka Jap dry, some thinner, and the paint in there mixed in with it. So that's the inside of the boat. So anyways, we got the paint going in. Zach didn't want to sand his patches, so that's on him, guys. Again, he didn't want to bondo the outside of the boat either, which I would have done both, and I probably would have bondoed the inside. Here, because
let me get a clip in there. Today at Young's Fabrications, we have ourselves this fine silver paint going on a 14-foot Gileo hull, and this boat's gonna outrun that boat over there, which belongs to Travis.
Alright guys, well anyways, then he woke up and realized he's kind of cutting some corners, but again, it is a $5,000 budget build. If he had to buy all the bondo for the boat, he would have been over 5K, so he's okay with it. I'm not.
Listen, when it comes down to it, for $5,000 to be out there riding around on the river, my son's gonna be smiling, I'm gonna be smiling, I'm gonna be happier than hell, and I'm gonna love this $5,000 piece of budget junk. I guarantee it.
It is what it is. So, got to make up another batch for the front to paint over the sand there. Got the inside silver hammered, and that's where we're at with it today. So, quick summary for today is we got the glass patches in that he didn't want to sand. Glass patches here, Glassing in the bulkhead with another coat of glass just for the strength and the structure of the front of the hull. Started sand coat painting, whatever you want to call it, making it non-skid on the front. Alright, you guys, so I'm waiting on Zach. I've already started this morning. I put a nice fresh coat of paint on the inside of the seat because the people we got the seats from thought it was a great idea to leave them out in the sun with nothing covering them, and they got sun beaten pretty bad. This is what they look like. You're gonna see the glass, it'll brush off of your hand, and gonna put a nice coat of paint on there because it keeps the glass in the seat and not in your body if you sit on it without cushions. So that much being said, I also started painting the rigging. It's a hammered, I don't know how well the lens can see it, but it's a hammered paint and it looks really cool. So I started doing that. I wanted to spray this, but I'm too worried about overspray everywhere, and I can't get into my little makeshift shop right now, so I'm just brushing it. It's a hammered, so it doesn't really matter as much. Yes, it would look a lot smoother sprayed, and you wouldn't have to chase runs because it is a oil-based Rust-Oleum silver hammer. So I'm gonna get back to brushing this. Here's my little cheap brush, and if you can see in the can in there, see how it's all looks weird, like it's, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's what I'm using. Just brushing it on, and it will hammer once it gets on there. And watch, it will start to hammer. You see how it's separating, and it takes away the brush marks, everything. So it's actually a really good paint to use for a lot of things. But that's where I'm at right now, waiting on Zach. So I'm gonna get back to painting, and we'll be back in a minute. All right, y'all. It's about as much as I've used. It was almost brand new. I didn't paint that bar yet because I still got to weld, and I'm gonna have to clean off a spot here where I still have to weld wire, but I was just getting one coat on there, one good coat, so we just have touch-ups afterwards. It's a little backwards, but when you're working with a guy like Zach, you got to do something to keep busy because he's always on Zach time, so things don't get done that fast, but looks pretty good. But it looks pretty good, y'all. Alright, y'all. We have got Zach finally here, and he's acting like he's doing something. I'm not sure if he is or he's not just yet, but he is attempting to put his new cam in, and he had already put his intake on here, but now he's going to take it all off, because at first he wasn't going to put his cam in there because this motor came out of a van. It's already got a low RPM cam in it, but the one he got is better, and he's deciding that he's going to put it in. Right now he's soaking all his lifters. It says made in China.
Listen, everything's made in China now, dude. There's nothing we can do about that.
So anyways, what he's doing, he's soaking all his lifters in oil, getting them ready for when he installs them.
Yep, and you got to use new lifters if you swap out your cam, because the old cam's going to have wear on the old lifter. So if you use the same lifter on the new cam, it's not going to be flat, so it's going to eat away at that cam. So we're using new lifters.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I almost forgot to show you what I was doing in the haul for the next step. which I took some Rust-Oleum black, added some Japan dry, and I'm taking this brush here. Usually I would take a piece of wood and like a real paintbrush and smack the paintbrush on the piece of wood and let it go and do all this design here. I'm doing just a little splatter, but I'm just taking the brush and slopping it around.
Boy, if you get some spider cracks in your gel coat, that'd really hide it. It hides a lot of everything, really. Looks pretty cool, too. Well, we got another day working on the airboat. We've actually come a long ways in 2 days. We got the inside painted. Now we're doing the splatter. We got the rigging most of the way painted. Gonna get the cam swapped out. Put the right cam in there. I would say another week or so, this thing's gonna be on the water.
All right, now we got Zach going crazy on it. Apparently how much I did was not enough, so what I think he's trying to do is make it, you know, when his boat's leaking oil and stuff, you won't notice it because it'll be black just like the black splatter in his boat. That's what I think he's going for. Sidewalk, you idiot. Jeez. Zach freaking leaves his motor out in the weather. I'm like, it's probably full of water, you should probably drain it. Look, he's like, okay. And he drains it right on my doggone sidewalk. Retard. But anyways, he's got all his push rods out, all his lifters are out, and his lifters actually look like pretty darn new. Like there's no wear on there at all.
What's up, brother?
This motor's pretty nice inside. We've opened it up once before. So here's a quick overtake. We're waiting on Zach. He went to the parts store, which is literally right there. There's O'Reilly's. Right next to it is AutoZone, and right next to it is Discount Auto Parts. Literally all three right next door to each other. He went up to rent the right pulley to get the harmonic balancer off, and the one I have, I guess, isn't going to work for him, so he had to go purchase one. But the rain did rain on my paint and it messed it up in a couple spots, but for the most part the oil base rejected the water, but needs some touch up here and there. Always going to be holiday, especially when you're brushing it or spraying it. There's going to be a spot that you miss that you didn't get up under or hit it at the right angle or whatever. But I'm going to have to go through and touch it back up. I ran out of paint, so I'm unable to do that. I hit all the rust spots on the cage. But I'm going to plasma cut the holes out for his gauges. He also got this today at Panther, his temperature gauge. But I need to find the diameter and this and all those other gauges, mark it out and find out exactly where he wants them in this gauge box, cut them out with a plasma cutter, and then have those mounted, drill for his switches, and we'll be good to go. Oh, and I'm going to paint it, and it's going to be painted and this is going to be the same gray that his tank and the outside of his hull was. He also rode down to Panther today, got him a nice aluminum shiny foot pedal. He started sanding the outside of the seats. He's either sand that some more or hit it with some glass Bondo, but the way he did his hull, I doubt he'll use glass Bondo because we have a budget. So, but I painted the inside. He has another glass patch he needs to do there because he got the seats for cheap, but I mean they're in good shape. I did not have the chance to, or the paint to paint a steering stick. So we got to get more paint for that. I also painted a lot of the welds on the cage today. Everywhere there was kind of a weld or something to cause it to rust. It's conduit, so it's naturally galvanized. But I kind of painted, I ran out of paint on this. There's still some spots in here that need to be painted, but for the most part, it looks pretty nice. Edit that out. What'd you get, man?
Got me some hose clamps.
Are they stainless?
I don't know.
Oh man, he didn't buy no stainless.
They're expensive. Got the harmonic balance. And we got that sucker.
Uh-oh. Man, you should have got that Mighty Mite. That's what I used. How much is this? 70 something bucks? 90 bucks?
Yep, $70.
70 bucks. We'll add that into the price sheet also, but we've already added it all up. We convinced Zach to go get a timing chain.
If you go to...
So he's going to put a new timing chain on there, and it'd be dumb not to. For like 20 bucks or however. I'll tell you how much it is when he gets back. There's Zach's new valve covers. I hit them with a little bit of polish. Need another couple coats. He got them on Southern Airboats on Facebook also with his headers. I'll show you those in a second. He's got his headers. So we got the cam out. Zach's going to get a new timing chain. He's got the new cam in his truck. So when he gets back, we'll show you. We got Mike's homemade press here for the lifters. Now if y'all are doing this, make sure if it's a 350 Chevrolet, you want to have torque these down to 30 foot-pounds of torque. Zach's getting the water pump on now. He's got his new water knob on there. He got his oil pan put back on.
Did you reuse the old oil pan gasket?
Old new. Alright you guys, well with how today went down, this is all that got done. Besides, you saw the inside of the hull got splattered, rigging got painted, I touched all the rust spots on the cage. It still needs painted, but I just hit the weld spots. The motor got a new cam, new lifters, all new gaskets, new water pump.
I'm glad you think.
Zach's got her all sealed up tight with about a whole roll of tape there. Alright y'all, it's been a long day. Sun has been cooking. My head's burnt. I had to go put on my hat because this Florida sun is just killing it today. But that's what we got done today. Next weekend or sometime during the week we will update you, and I'll post another video if we work on it. But just keep watching. We're going to keep building, keep recording it. You guys are watching Bucks, Ammo, and Arrows, and I appreciate you so much for tuning in, watching the channel. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys. I love you. Jesus loves you. See ya.